Well, this week, Senator John Cornyn introduced legislation set to give relief to music venues that have been shuttered since the pandemic. With concert tours postponed by up to a year, they are unable to rely on PPP loans as part of the CARES Act. Fox 4's David Sintendry tells us more about the bill and also how it could help the venues. David.
Yeah, Heather, and there is a bit of foot traffic here in Deep Ellum tonight, but that's mostly for restaurants. As we all know, bars are still closed per the governor's order. The thing is, once bars are allowed to legally reopen, ones classified specifically as music venues are still going to be months behind.
They say the music never stops at Deep Ellum Art Company.
We're actually open 7 days a week, so we're booking shows 7 days a week.
But once the pandemic hit, it did.
Watching the calendar, dates just fall like dominoes.
John LaRue and his wife started the venue a few years ago.
This business isn't just us, it's so many people in this community.
He says they were just starting to turn a profit, but now they're barely hanging on.
The tunnel seems really, really long. I don't see any light at the end of it yet.
Now, a glimmer of hope. Newly introduced bipartisan legislation might help independent music venues across the country.
It's an attempt to fill a gap that I think is in need of being filled.
Business attorney Mishti Deb is talking about the Save Our Stages Act, a bill co-authored by Republican Texas Senator John Cornyn and Democratic Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, that, if passed, would establish a $10 billion grant program that's geared toward live venues.
And small businesses that qualify are going to qualify for 45% of their 2019 operating costs.
Deb says the Small Business Administration's PPP loan program didn't exactly help music venues in the way it did some other small businesses.
Because PPP is designed on retaining employment and keeping businesses open through the next 2 months.
Governor Greg Abbott closed Texas bars for now, but the pandemic has forced a number of Dallas music venues, like Lizard Lounge, to close for good. The ones still holding on might be the last ones to get back on track.
If you don't have the wheels turning, if you don't have the register ringing and the tickets selling, you go backwards so quickly.
That's because venues book bands months in advance. So once bars reopen, it'll be a while before touring bands can take center stage.
And all the holds that we're getting for concerts are mostly starting in 2021 now.
Still, LaRue is grateful that legislation could help.
I mean, I'd say there's nothing left to do but smile, 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 but you can't see it behind the mask. You just have to read the eyes these days.
Senator Cornyn says the culture around Texas dance halls and live music has shaped generations, and he adds that this legislation would give them the resources to open their doors. We'll see what happens next. Heather?